when her truth became my sentence. My name is Ryan, and I was 19 when I met her. Her name was Lily, and back then, I thought she was sunlight. You know that kind of girl? The one who walks into a room and the volume turns up? People smile more. They move toward her like flowers tilting to the sun. That was Lily. She was wild in the kind of way that looked like freedom, not recklessness. Like the first breath after holding it too long underwater. I was nothing like that. I was cautious. A planner. A guy with a 5-year roadmap and no idea how to talk to girls without rehearsing it 10 times first. But she saw me. She picked me. And from that moment on, my life stopped belonging to me. It started in our dorm building. I was carrying 2 boxes of textbooks, trying not to trip over my own feet. She ran right into me, spilled her coffee on my jeans. Lily, shit, I'm sorry. Oh my God, are you okay? Me, yeah, just wet. She laughed. Lily, wow. Most guys would be pissed. Me, I'm not most guys. She looked at me with those huge green eyes and said, Lily, good. Most guys suck. I should have known. Right then. But I was already falling. She asked for my number that night. Said she needed more non-sucky guys in her life. We started hanging out. First it was late-night walks, talking about music and books and dreams we half believed in. Then came the sleepovers. Then came the I don't usually do this moments that turned into I think I'm in love with you. And I said it back. God help me, I said it back. Because I was. Hopelessly. The first time something fell off, we were at a party. Some guy was talking to her. I think his name was Chad. Frat guy. Loud and drunk. He said something like, Chad, you're too hot for that guy. Come hang with real men. I laughed. Stupidly. Like I thought it was a joke. Lily didn't. She stormed off, dragging me with her. Slammed the door of her dorm shut and turned on me like I was the one who'd hit on her. Lily, why would you laugh at that? Do you not care? Do you think I'm some slut that just flirts with everyone? Me. What? No. I just thought it was a stupid drunk guy. Lily, exactly. And you let him talk to me like that. You didn't protect me. I remember standing there, stunned. I'd never seen someone flip that fast. But I apologized. Like an idiot. I said, Me. I'm sorry. You're right. I should have said something. She calmed down instantly. Wrapped her arms around me. Lily, I just want to feel safe with you. That's all. That became the pattern. She'd blow up. Cry. Accuse. Then fold into me and make me feel like her hero only if I submitted. Over time, I stopped questioning it. I didn't go to parties without her. Didn't text female classmates. Didn't even like photos on Instagram unless she approved them. But she loved me. She said it every day. She wrote poems about me. Made a playlist called My Forever Boy. And I ate it up like a starving dog. Then came spring semester. She got into a film program in LA for a summer internship. Said it was everything she dreamed of. I smiled and said I was proud of her. Inside, I felt like I was about to drown. 3 weeks after she left, she stopped texting. Not entirely, but the replies got slower, colder. Then came the excuses. Lily text, sorry, super busy today. Meeting directors. Lily text, didn't sleep. Too much on my plate. Can we talk tomorrow? Lily text, I just feel disconnected lately. Not sure what's wrong. I begged for a phone call. She agreed. And on that call, I died a little. Lily, I kissed someone. It didn't mean anything. It was stupid. I was drunk and alone and sad. I felt the floor vanish beneath me. Me, you what? Lily, I know. I fucked up. I wanted to tell you. That's why I'm being honest. Me, honest? You cheated on me. Lily, don't say it like that. I made a mistake. People make mistakes, Ryan. She cried. Hard. And somehow, I ended up comforting her. That was the moment I should have ended it. But I didn't. I said, Me, okay. We'll work through it. I love you. Because I did. And I was a fool. When she came back in August, everything changed. She was colder. Meaner. Sex stopped completely. She said she didn't feel safe with me anymore. When I asked why, she said, Lily, because you're always walking on eggshells. It's manipulative. It makes me feel trapped. I said, Me, I'm walking on eggshells because I'm scared of you. Every time I say something wrong, you explode. She started sobbing. Lily, wow, you're gaslighting me right now. Do you hear yourself? You're blaming me for your emotional abuse. I froze. Abuse? Me? I'd never even raised my voice. Never called her a name. Never touched her in anger. But the way she said it, I started to believe it. That's what Lily did best. She rewrote reality. And I kept playing along like an actor who forgot he was in the wrong script. Then came the night everything shattered. The night everything shattered started like any other. Lily had been cold for days. Distant. She barely looked up from her phone, and when she did, it was only to snap at me. But I kept trying, because I was still in love with the ghost of who she used to be. I ordered her favorite sushi. I cleaned her whole apartment while she was out with her film group. I even wrote her a letter, handwritten, 3 pages, telling her how I missed us, how I wanted to fix things, how I'd do anything to make her feel safe and loved. I left it on her pillow. She came home late, after midnight, hair messy, smelled like cologne that wasn't mine. I felt sick, but I didn't ask. I never asked, because asking made me controlling. She walked into the bedroom, saw the letter, and didn't even pick it up. She rolled her eyes. Lily, God, Ryan, are we doing the whole needy boyfriend act again? Me, I just wanted to remind you how much I care about you. Lily, you remind me too much. It's suffocating. My throat closed. Me, I can stop. I miss how we used to be. She laughed. Lily, yeah, well, people change. That laugh, sharp and cruel, cut deeper than anything else. I tried to hold it together. Me, are you seeing someone else? She stared at me, blank, expressionless. Lily, does it matter? My stomach flipped. Me, are you? She didn't answer. Instead, she said, Lily, you should leave. Me, what? Lily, this isn't healthy. You're making me feel unsafe in my own space. I was stunned. Me, unsafe? I haven't done anything. She walked over to the door and opened it. Lily, please, just go. I can't deal with this energy right now. I stood there, waiting for a punchline. None came, so I left. I walked out, numb and broken and shaking. I didn't sleep that night. Didn't eat the next day. The next week was a blur of unanswered texts and ignored calls. Then I got a message from my university email. Subject, Notice of Interim Suspension Pending Investigation. I clicked it, and the world went black. Lily had filed a formal report with the Title IX office, accusing me of emotional manipulation, coercive control, intimate partner violence, unwanted physical contact. I read the words over and over. They didn't make sense. I felt like I was staring at someone else's nightmare, but it had my name on it. I called her. She didn't pick up. I wrote her an email. Meet email. Please tell me this is some mistake. Please talk to me. I don't understand. I never hurt you. I loved you. No response. I went to campus security. They told me not to contact her again, that she'd filed a no-contact order. Just like that, I was a pariah. People I barely knew suddenly looked at me like I was a monster. My roommates told me I needed to move out for everyone's comfort. My professors stopped making eye contact. I got removed from my internship. My scholarship was put on hold, all based on her story. No trial, no evidence, no chance to defend myself. I tried to fight it, got a student advocate, filed an appeal. But the moment she cried in that hearing room, describing me as some possessive, emotionally abusive manipulator, I saw it in their eyes. They believed her, because she was small, and scared, and a girl, and I was tall, and male, and angry. Even though my voice never rose above a whisper, even though I brought in every text she ever sent me, even though I showed the 3-page letter, the playlist, the pictures of us kissing on the beach, none of it mattered. They said, Title IX chairwoman, we believe the harm Lily reports is credible and consistent with trauma behaviors. Her perception of events is what matters. Her perception, not what happened, just what she felt happened, even if it never did. And just like that, I was expelled. No criminal charge. No due process. Just erased. My parents didn't understand. My dad looked at me like I was diseased. My mom cried herself to sleep every night for a week. My little brother wouldn't speak to me. No one did, except my best friend Ethan. He was the only one who stood by me. He said, Ethan, this is bullshit, man. I know you. You're the softest guy I've ever met. You wouldn't hurt a damn fly. I clung to that like a life raft. But it wasn't enough, because the truth didn't matter. Only the story did, and Lily told it better. I moved back in with my parents after the expulsion. 20 years old. No degree. No girlfriend. No future. Every night I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying the hearing over and over in my mind, replaying what I should have said, what I could have proven, the text messages they ignored, the times I cried, not her. I lost 20 pounds in a month. My hair started falling out in clumps from stress. My phone stayed silent, except for one day. A blocked number called. I didn't recognize the voice at first, but then she said, "Lily, hey, I know I'm not supposed to call, but I just wanted to check on you." I froze. "Me, you destroyed my life." "Lily, I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just needed space. I needed people to understand I was hurting." "Me, you lied. You lied, Lily." There was a pause. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. "Lily, it wasn't a lie to me. That's how it felt." That was her defense. How it felt. Not what happened. Not truth. Not facts. Just her feelings. That's when it hit me. She didn't care if she ruined me. Because to her, my destruction was proof that her pain was real. I hung up, blocked the number, but the damage was already done. I tried applying to other universities. None would take me once they saw the expulsion reason. I tried getting a job. Same thing. No references. No credibility. Just the vague cloud of misconduct hanging over me. And the worst part? I started doubting myself. Was I manipulative? Was I emotionally unsafe? Was I the monster she made me out to be? It didn't matter how many times Ethan told me no. The shame had seeped in. Like rot. One night, I sat in the garage with the engine running. I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to exist like this anymore. But Ethan showed up. Out of nowhere. Pounded on the garage door screaming, "Ethan, Ryan, open it. Don't you fucking do this." He saved me. And I hate that I needed saving. But I did. He dragged me out, held me while I cried, and said, "Ethan, she doesn't get to kill you, man. She already took enough." That was my lowest point. And from there, slowly, I started climbing. I got a job at a shipping warehouse. Not glamorous, but it paid. I started therapy. Took months before I could say her name without shaking. I started lifting weights, running, eating again. Every day was a war, but I fought. Then one night, almost a year after she'd ruined me, Ethan texted me. "Ethan, text, you need to see this." It was a screenshot from Lily's private Instagram account. A friend of a friend had followed her. She'd posted a picture with a new guy. Captioned, "When you survive abuse, you know how to spot real love." Red heart. I should have been numb, but I wasn't. I was shaking with fury. She was still doing it. Still wearing the victim mask. Still telling the world she was the one who got hurt. And no one stopped her. That night, I wrote my story. Everything. From the first coffee spill to the last hearing. I included screenshots, emails, dates, names, and I posted it anonymously to a survivor forum. I didn't name her, but I told the truth. And something unexpected happened. People believed me. Men, women, even survivors. They commented things like, "User 1, this is exactly what happened to me. It's so hard when the abuser plays the victim." User 2, "People forget that manipulation goes both ways. This must have been hell. I believe you." User 3, "Thank you for speaking up. I'm a guy and I've never felt safe telling my story. Until now." It went viral. Got reposted on Reddit, then Twitter, then TikTok. Suddenly, I wasn't invisible. I was seen. I was heard. A month later, I got an email from a lawyer. They were representing another guy. A guy Lily had dated before me. He'd read my story, and he had one of his own. Only his ended in criminal charges. False ones. Dropped only after video footage proved his innocence. We talked. Then another guy came forward. And another. 3 of us. Same pattern. Same accusations. Same aftermath. We weren't crazy. We weren't abusers. We were prey. And she was the predator. The 3 of us, me, Jason, and Mark, started meeting once a week over video calls. Each of us had lived through different versions of the same nightmare. Jason had been Lily's boyfriend in high school. He told us how she cried wolf after every argument, how she spread stories about his rage problems to teachers, friends, even his mother. Eventually, she accused him of slapping her. It never happened, but he was suspended. Mark dated her during her gap year before university. She convinced him to cut off his friends and family, telling him they were toxic and didn't understand their pure connection. She told him if he ever left, she'd kill herself and make sure he was blamed. When he finally left, she reported him to police for sexual coercion. Case got dropped, but not before his name was published in the local paper. We compared timelines, tactics, patterns, and slowly, the idea started forming. We had to go public, not anonymously, not behind a screen, with faces, with names. It was terrifying, but the silence had been worse. So we recorded a video. 3 men, 3 stories, 1 shared experience. I said, "Meet video. My name is Ryan Scott. I was falsely accused of abuse by someone I loved. I lost my education, my reputation, my future because no one asked me for proof. They only needed her words." Jason said. Jason video. "She told everyone I was dangerous, that I hurt her, but I never touched her. I tried to protect her. She used that to destroy me." Mark said. Mark video. "When I told her I was leaving, she told me I'd regret it. I didn't know what she meant until I had a detective knocking on my door. We posted it. We braced for the storm. And it came. In waves. Thousands of views. Comments split down the middle. Some people called us brave. Others called us liars. Abusers. Monsters. But the story had legs now. And then something unexpected happened. A girl named Emily DM'd me on Twitter. She said, "Emily DM. I know Lily. I used to be her roommate. You're telling the truth. I saw everything." She laughed after she filed the report. She said it was the only way to reset her life. I stared at her message for 5 minutes before responding. "Me DM. Would you be willing to say that publicly?" There was a long pause. Then, "Emily DM. Yes. I'm tired of being scared of her." She joined our next video. Sat there in front of a camera and told the world what she saw. How Lily rehearsed her statements. How she deleted messages from her phone before handing it over to the university. How she bragged about knowing exactly which words to use to trigger maximum consequences. Emily video. She said if a man made you cry, you had every right to ruin his life. Even if he didn't mean to hurt you. Because pain was power. We released that video too. The response was seismic. People began questioning, digging. Others came forward. Girls she'd fought with. Co-workers she'd manipulated. Family members she'd gaslit. The narrative cracked. And through that crack, the truth started seeping through. Eventually, a podcast picked up the story. Then a journalist. The article's headline still gives me chills. False Saint, the rise and fall of a social media survivor queen. They didn't name her directly for legal reasons, but it was obvious. And it lit the internet on fire. Then, the university that expelled me? They called me. Said they were reassessing prior disciplinary action in light of new information. Cowards. Too late. The damage had been done, but I still went to the meeting. I sat across from the same panel that tore my life apart. One woman looked at me like she couldn't even meet my eyes. I asked them a question. "Me, why didn't you believe me?" No one answered. So I gave them my own answer. "Me, because I wasn't crying. Because I wasn't broken enough. Because I didn't fit the victim image in your head." They offered to reverse my expulsion. I laughed. "Me, you think I want to come back here?" To the people who threw me away without a second thought. They said it would help clear my name. I told them, "Me, you don't clear someone's name. You don't erase what you did by pressing undo." I walked out, and I never looked back. But it wasn't over, because Lily still hadn't spoken. Not publicly. Until she did. She made a video of her own. Shaky cam. Teary eyes. Captioned, "When your past turns on you." She said, "Lily video. I'm being attacked. Harassed. Lied about by people I once trusted. I was a victim. I still am. People are trying to reframe my story. But only I know my truth." And people ate it up. She weaponized her pain again. But this time, it didn't work the same. The comments were different now. People asked questions. Demanded receipts. She deleted the video within a day. But the internet remembers. And the truth? It was already out there. After Lily deleted her video, she went silent for a while. But the storm she created kept swelling. More people, men and women, kept coming forward, not just about her, but about others like her. People who twisted trauma into currency. Who realized early that if you cry loud enough, the world will hand you a sword and a shield, even if you're the one doing the stabbing. Some of those stories were fake. Yeah, you could see them trying to ride the wave. But others, they were real. I could feel it in the words. The same kind of hurt. The same kind of betrayal. And as much as I hated what happened to me, I started to see something bigger. This wasn't just about Lily anymore. This was about a system that fed off silence. That rewarded performance over proof. I was invited onto a panel. A university in another state, ironically, asked me to speak about due process and false accusations. Me, the guy who was labeled a threat to campus safety. Now they wanted my opinion. I said yes. Flew out, suited up, stood on that stage and told my story again. But this time I wasn't shaking. I wasn't afraid of people not believing me, because I knew who I was. I ended the talk like this. Me on stage. I don't want to take away from real victims. I want to stop people like Lily from making it harder for those real victims to be heard. Every false accusation poisons the well. And I drank every drop of that poison. Standing ovation. But as I walked backstage, I got a text from an unknown number. It just said, "You haven't won." No name. No context. But I knew. I knew it was her. I didn't respond. Because I didn't need to. She was still watching. Still trying to reach inside my head. But she no longer lived there. After the panel, I was approached by a documentary filmmaker. They wanted to do a series about truth manipulation in the social media age. They wanted my story to anchor the first episode. I hesitated. I was so tired of being the guy who got accused. But this wasn't about me anymore. It was about all of us who never got a voice. So I said yes. Filming began that fall. They interviewed me, Jason, Mark, Emily, even my parents. There's this scene where my mom breaks down, remembering how she held me the night I came home after the hearing. She said, "Mom, documentary. He was shaking. My baby boy. And I couldn't fix it. I couldn't protect him. And I hated that girl. I hated her for what she took from him." That was the first time I'd ever heard her say that. And it wrecked me. They filmed Ethan too. He said, "Ethan, documentary. Ryan isn't just my best friend. He's my brother." And watching what happened to him made me realize how easy it is to lose everything. All it takes is one person's lie, and the world listens. The documentary was powerful, brutal, honest. When it released, it broke 1 million views in 2 days. Suddenly, the narrative was changing. People were talking about accountability for everyone. Men, women, systems, institutions. Then something wild happened. A girl Lily had mentored. Yes, she had actually mentored younger women on healing from trauma, posted a TikTok. It was raw. She said, "TikTok girl. I used to look up to her. She was my hero. Until I saw the receipts. Until I realized everything she said about pain was stolen from other people. She didn't survive anything. She created the pain she claimed to escape from." That video went viral too. And with it, Lily's brand collapsed. She lost followers, sponsorships, speaking invites. I know some people were celebrating. But me? I didn't feel joy. I felt nothing. Because I knew this was never about revenge. It was about truth. And the truth was out. One night, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Just my name, handwritten. I opened it. Inside was a folded piece of paper. It said, "You were right. I lied. But I believed it when I said it. I don't anymore. I see it now. And I'm sorry." No signature. No apology for what she took from me. Just that. I sat there with it in my hand for a long time. Then I lit a match and burned it. Because her words meant nothing now. Because they came too late. Because I survived her. And that's something she'll never take from me again. You ever notice how silence hits different when you finally get peace? After everything, the tribunal, the isolation, the near suicide, the clawing my way back, I thought I'd feel triumphant. Like I'd reclaimed something. Like I'd won. But all I felt was empty. Don't get me wrong. I was grateful. Grateful that people knew the truth now. That strangers on the internet saw me as human again. That I could walk into a coffee shop without thinking someone might recognize me from her posts or whispers. But it's hard to celebrate surviving when the scars still ache. That winter, I moved out of my parents' house and into a small apartment downtown. It wasn't much, just a studio with paper-thin walls and a leaking faucet. But it was mine. It was freedom. I started working full-time at a nonprofit that helped young men dealing with mental health crises. They'd seen the documentary and reached out. Said they wanted someone who got it. First day, I sat in a circle with 5 guys, all under 25, all broken in different ways. One of them, Mike, looked at me like I had the answers. "Mike, you ever feel like no one believes you even when you're telling the truth?" I laughed softly. Me. Every damn day. But I stopped needing them to believe me. I started believing myself. That group became my sanctuary. Every week, I heard stories that mirrored mine. Different details, same betrayal, same silence, same fear of speaking up. We weren't just healing, we were rebuilding. Meanwhile, Lily vanished from the public eye. Her social media accounts were deactivated. No more articles. No more TEDx talks. No more poetry slams about healing from invisible wounds. But rumors swirled. One said she moved to Portland. Another said she changed her name. Some even claimed she was trying to rebrand herself under a different identity, new handle, new look, same tactics. I didn't care. I stopped looking her up, stopped letting her live rent-free in my mind. Until the email came. It was from a girl named Mia. Subject line, I think I'm her next target. My stomach sank. I clicked. Mia, email. I saw your documentary. I think the same girl, Lily, has been messaging my boyfriend. It's starting small, but she's planting seeds. I recognize the behavior. I recognize the phrasing. She's calling him emotionally unsafe. I don't know what to do. I responded immediately. Meet email. Don't ignore it. Document everything. Every message. Every conversation. And talk to him now. Before it escalates. Mia and I messaged for weeks. Her boyfriend, Jordan, was a sweet, anxious dude who thought Lily was just being supportive. He didn't see the trap closing in. I offered to talk to him directly. We met over Zoom. He looked haunted. Jordan. She said I was gaslighting her, that I make her feel unsafe by how I don't open up. I didn't even know she felt that way. Me. She's setting you up. Slowly. She's not saying it all at once. She's building a case. Against you. Without you even knowing. His eyes welled up. Jordan. I just wanted to help her. I nodded. Me. That's what I said, too. We saved him. Barely. He cut off contact. Mia blocked her on everything. But the whole situation shook me, because I realized something terrifying. She wasn't done. She wouldn't be done. People like her don't stop when caught. They just evolve. They change the script, rewrite the rules, adapt. And that's when I started writing the book. Not a memoir. A warning. A guide for spotting manipulation masked as vulnerability. It wasn't about blaming victims. It was about protecting real ones. It took me 8 months to finish it. The title? The Weaponization of Wounds. It sold better than I expected. Way better. Book clubs picked it up. Counselors emailed me. Survivors thanked me. And critics? They tried. They said I was blaming women, that I was bitter, that I was trying to cancel culture. But they couldn't argue with the receipts. They couldn't disprove what they saw in my documentary, what they read in Mia's story, what they heard from Jason, Mark, Emily. Because this wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern. And I was done being quiet. I did a book tour, spoke in schools, universities, conferences, and at every stop, someone came up to me in tears. Someone who'd been labeled a monster when all they'd done was say no, or cry, or leave. And every time I heard their story, I knew. This wasn't just my redemption arc. This was a movement, a quiet revolution. But the past has claws, and it wasn't done with me yet. One morning, I got a letter in my mailbox. Typed, no name, no return address, just 4 words. You'll never escape me. I stared at it, felt the old panic crawling up my spine. But then I smiled. Because she was wrong. I already had. I took that letter and pinned it to the inside of my closet door. Not out of fear, out of defiance. It reminded me that no matter how many times she tried to slither back into my life, I wasn't that guy anymore. The scared, confused, broken shell of who I used to be. She could threaten, whisper, haunt, but I'd already stared down the worst of her lies and came out standing. Still, part of me wondered, how the hell did she get my address again? I was careful, private, used a P.O. box for fan mail and professional stuff. This was different. This meant she was looking, tracking, maybe through someone I knew, maybe through public records. Maybe she just never stopped watching. I filed a police report, not expecting much. The officer took it seriously, to his credit. Officer, she's not contacted you in person, right? No physical threats? Me. Not yet. But this? This is a pattern. She's done this before. He nodded, scribbled notes, offered me a security contact. I installed cameras the same day. Nothing ever came of the report. But the footage gave me peace. And the fear, it started to fade again. Until I ran into her. In real life. It was at a bookstore, of all places. I was doing a signing, small local event, nothing huge. I just finished talking to a group of young readers when I saw her, standing at the back, arms crossed, black hoodie pulled low over her forehead. Her eyes locked onto mine, and I froze. The room spun for half a second, but I didn't let it show. I excused myself, walked straight toward her. She didn't move, didn't flinch. Me. You're not supposed to be here. Lily. I'm not doing anything. Just browsing. Free country. Her voice was sharper, less performative than before. Like she dropped the act. I leaned in. Me. You want attention again? Looking for someone else to bleed for your stories. Lily, smiling. I just wanted to see how you'd look, surrounded by people who still believe you. Me. They don't believe me. They believe the truth. Something you wouldn't recognize if it hit you in the face. She laughed. Actually laughed. Lily. You still think you're the hero in this story. That's cute. Me. No. I'm just not the villain you tried to make me. Security noticed us talking, started to walk over. She held up her hands mockingly. Lily. Don't worry. I'm leaving. You got your stage. You won. Congrats. Me. I didn't win. I survived. Big difference. And then she said something I'll never forget. Lily. You ever think maybe I started to believe it because you deserved it? That sentence. That insane twist of logic. I just stared at her. Because in that moment, I finally understood her sickness. It wasn't about justice, or truth, or healing. It was about control. She had none over her life, so she manufactured power. By twisting reality. By dressing up manipulation as trauma. Security walked her out. She didn't resist. Didn't scream. Just turned once at the door and blew me a kiss. Like a damn movie villain. I didn't tell anyone about that day for a long time. Not even Ethan. Because I didn't want her to own one more second of my life. But a few months later, something happened. A podcast went viral about sociopathic influencers and the cost of unchecked narratives. They dedicated an entire episode to Lily. Pulled archived footage, interviews with past friends, even an anonymous submission from a former therapist who hinted she faked multiple diagnoses for attention. One line from that episode stuck with me. Podcast host. Sometimes the best liars believe their own stories. That doesn't make them less dangerous. It makes them more. The tide was turning. Even people who once praised her started retracting old endorsements. Quietly, but noticeably. Meanwhile, my book got picked up for wider distribution. International now. Emails flooded in from men in Australia, Canada, the UK, even India. Stories like mine. Too many to count. I couldn't respond to all of them, but I read every single one. And I carried their names with me. Because I wasn't just healing for myself anymore. I was healing for them, too. One night, I was invited to speak at a symposium about restorative justice. A law professor introduced me as a survivor of weaponized accusation. It hit me hard that someone finally used that word. Survivor. Not perpetrator. Not alleged anything. Survivor. I got up there, looked at the sea of faces, and told them what I now knew. Me on stage. We're not anti-accountability. We want people held responsible when they harm others. But accountability without evidence is just vengeance. And vengeance wears many masks, sometimes even the mask of victimhood. Silence. Then thunderous applause. Afterward, a student came up. She was shaking. Student. I believed her. When it all came out, I reposted. I shared it. I called you a monster online. I'm so sorry. I nodded. Didn't scold her. Me. I get it. You were trying to do the right thing. But doing the right thing means questioning everything. Even pain. She started crying. I hugged her. And I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Closure. You know that moment when you finally stop waiting for an apology that'll never come? That was me, standing there in that crowded hall, hugging someone who once helped destroy my life, and realizing I didn't need her to be sorry. Not Lily. Not the hundreds like her. Not the thousands who believed her without a second thought. I didn't need them to say, I'm sorry, because I was done carrying the burden they put on me. I was free. Or so I thought. Because the thing about trauma? It doesn't vanish. It sleeps. It curls up in the corners of your mind, waiting. Some nights I'd still wake up sweating, hearing phantom words. Lily, echoing in my head. You'll never escape me. Sometimes I'd walk past a girl with dark hair and flinch. Other times, I'd get an anonymous message online, subtle, unsettling. Do you ever wonder if people only believe you because you cried on camera? Or, she's the real victim. You're just louder. I'd report, block, delete. but the ache lingered. Ethan noticed it. He was the only one who truly saw when the smile didn't match the silence. One night, he sat me down with beers on my balcony. "Ethan, you ever think about therapy again? Like, actual therapy. Not just running support groups and calling it healing." I sipped slowly. "Me? I don't know. What would I even say? I've told the story." "Ethan, you've told us the story. You ever told it to you?" That question wrecked me. Because no, I hadn't. I told versions of the story. Public ones. Strategic ones. Controlled burns. But I never actually sat down and told it to myself. So I booked the session. A trauma-informed therapist. Highly recommended. She didn't ask for headlines. Didn't want evidence. She wanted me. First session, she asked a simple question. "Therapist, when did you stop trusting your own memory?" I didn't have an answer. But the question haunted me. Because the truth is I had. At some point, I stopped believing my own feelings. I'd second-guess every flashback, every trigger, every piece of guilt. Lily had trained me to believe my pain was proof I was wrong. Therapy helped me untangle that. Helped me realize how insidious it is to be gaslit not just by a partner, but by the world. To be told, your pain is fake. Your silence is guilt. Your anger is violence. Your tears are manipulation. It takes years to undo that. But I started, one session at a time. And somewhere in the middle of that slow, brutal rebuilding, something unexpected happened. I fell in love. Her name was Nadia. She wasn't some manic pixie dream savior. She didn't come into my life with answers or magical healing. She was just real, honest, calm, steady. We met at a community fundraiser. She was organizing it. I was speaking at it. We ended up grabbing drinks after. No sparks. No fireworks. Just ease. "Nadia, you have this way of looking like you're both fully here and somewhere else at the same time." "Me? That's not romantic. That's trauma." She laughed. "Nadia, well, it looks good on you." She didn't pry. Didn't ask for the whole backstory. She Googled me, of course. Everyone did. But she didn't lead with it. When I told her, finally, about everything, she didn't flinch. Didn't treat me like damaged goods. Just listened. "Nadia, she used your empathy against you. That doesn't make you weak. That makes her cruel." God, I needed to hear that. I didn't even know how much until she said it. We took things slow. I told her my boundaries. My flashpoints. She respected every single one. When I had nightmares, she held me. When I needed space, she gave it. She didn't try to fix me. She trusted me to fix myself. And because of that, I started believing in a future again. A future with joy, not just survival. It was around that time that the call came. A journalist. Reputable. Not some clickbait chaser. She was working on a series about false allegations and their fallout. "Journalist, on phone. I want to feature your story. Not to discredit survivors, but to show the cost of weaponizing victimhood." I hesitated. I'd already told my story so many times. But something felt different now. So I said yes. The article dropped a month later. It went viral within hours. Because it didn't just focus on me. It focused on the ripple effects. My parents. Ethan. My professors. The girl I almost dated after Lily who ghosted me because of the whispers. Even Jason. They tracked him down. He spoke. Publicly. Said he regretted every second of his silence. Said Lily tried to turn him against me by feeding him concerned friend narratives. Jason quoted an article. She told me she was scared of him. That he had a temper. I never once saw it. But I believed her. Because back then, it felt wrong not to. The article blew up. And with it, so did the backlash. Not against me this time. Against her. People started digging. Piecing together her trail of narratives. The patterns. The similarities. A few of her older supporters started issuing apologies. One even wrote a Medium post titled, "When Believing Without Question Becomes Complicity." I didn't revel in it. I didn't share it. But I read it. Every word. Because it felt like something was shifting. Finally. And yet, despite all that progress. One morning, I got a message from an unknown account. Just 2 words. "Still here." That was it. No threats. No name. Just the reminder. And for a moment, that old panic returned. But only for a moment. Because this time, I didn't answer. Didn't react. Didn't give it oxygen. Instead, I kissed Nadia on the forehead. Went for a run. And lived my life. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing not to go back. There's this myth we're fed, especially as men, that surviving something like what I went through makes you stronger, that it builds character, or some other bullshit they say in movies. Let me tell you what it really builds. Walls. Quiet ones. Thick ones. And sometimes, even when you're happy, especially when you're happy, those walls rattle. You catch yourself waiting for something to fall apart. For someone to look at you and say, "Wait, I remember who you really are." That fear? It never leaves completely, but it fades. Slowly. Bit by bit. Because every day you live with your truth, and it doesn't destroy you, that's another brick you get to take down. Nadia helped me tear down a lot of bricks. But she didn't do it for me. She just stood by while I swung the hammer. A year into our relationship, I finally did something I never thought I'd be able to do again. I gave a full interview. On camera. No edits. No soft takes. Just raw, brutal honesty. It wasn't about her anymore, not really. It was about what she represented. About the danger of narratives with no scrutiny. The cost of being presumed guilty just because someone tells a convincing story. The interviewer asked me something that stopped me cold. Interviewer: "If Lily were watching this right now, what would you say to her?" I paused, looked into the camera, and I answered from the deepest part of me. Me. Nothing. I don't owe her closure. I don't owe her forgiveness. I don't owe her anything. Silence. Then I added, me. But to the people who still believe her, I'd say this: you don't need to hate me to support her. You just need to stop pretending truth is a side you pick. That clip went viral. Again. But this time, the support was overwhelming. I got emails from strangers. One was from a guy in Texas who wrote, email excerpt: "She did the same to me, man. Different name, different town, but same playbook. I lost everything. I thought I was crazy. But your story made me feel human again." There were hundreds like that. Each one made the past feel a little more worth it. Like maybe my pain had a purpose beyond just hurting me. But life isn't a straight climb after the worst. It's hills, valleys, sudden drops. The crash came again about 3 months later. A lawsuit. Filed by her. Defamation. Apparently, my interviews and book and podcast quotes were slandering her character. At first, I laughed. It felt so desperate. So clearly retaliatory. But when I saw the names attached, the organizations she convinced to back her, my blood ran cold. She was playing victim again, twisting the narrative, claiming I was leading a smear campaign that endangered her safety. The irony? I never revealed anything that wasn't public. I changed names where appropriate. I kept details vague where they could harm others. But none of that mattered when the press caught wind. Headline: Author sued by former girlfriend over weaponized truth memoir. They didn't even try to hide the bias. The worst part? Some people who'd started to believe me flipped right back. Like their support was conditional. Like my truth had an expiration date. I spent nights lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering, how many times do I have to survive her? Ethan offered to help fund legal defense. So did Jason. Even Nadia's parents reached out. But I said no. I needed to fight this on my own terms. Because this wasn't about money anymore. It was about ownership of my life. The trial date was set. And the lead up? Hell. Every day, a new article. A new op-ed. A new TikTok therapist weighing in with nothing but vibes and clout-chasing takes. But in court, facts mattered. Evidence mattered. And for the first time, so did context. My lawyer was a beast. She walked the jury through every lie, every manipulation, every contradiction Lily had left in her wake. We submitted her own texts, the retracted statements, the old video clips where she contradicted her timelines, even the letter she mailed me. The jury looked disgusted. Lily tried to cry on the stand. But something was different now. She wasn't the same untouchable narrative goddess she used to be. People had seen too much, heard too much. The verdict came back in 3 hours. Not guilty. Counterclaim approved. She owed me damages. Not enough to undo everything she stole, but enough to finally call it what it was. Justice. I didn't smile, didn't gloat. Just sat there, hands folded, and breathed. It was over. Or almost over. Because that night, I got one last message. No name. No threat. Just a sentence. You were always the liar. I just beat you to the punch. I didn't reply. Didn't flinch. I just deleted it. Blocked it. And held Nadia's hand until I fell asleep. Not because I was scared, but because for the first time in years, I finally wasn't.